Whether or not they're contenders or pretenders, whatever it may be, if you're a Patriots fan, you have to feel great about your team. And the reason why you feel great about your team is because the number one question that you had coming into this season got answered in an extremely positive way. Two big questions that you had going into this season. How good of a coach is Ben Johnson? Can he transition from offensive coordinator to head coach? And can Caleb Williams improve and develop? I think you got positive answers on two of those really important questions. Ben Johnson absolutely has proven that he can be a head coach, and he could be as good of a head coach, if not better, than he was an offensive coordinator. And I think Caleb Williams is developing. Being an offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts is the worst job in the NFL. And the reason why I say that is because you can dial things up for Jalen Hurts, and when he's not making the right reads, and when he's not throwing the ball accurately, they're going to blame you. Not only are they going to blame you, they're going to throw rocks at your house. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the CEO Sports Show for December 2nd, 2025. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about the New England Patriots and why I think it is actually time to believe in them if you haven't already. And also, we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get into the episode. So I want to start this off by talking about the New England Patriots. And I just want to say this. I think it's time to look at the New England Patriots as legitimate contenders. And when I look at this team, I just say, what are people not seeing with this team? They're absolutely a worthy number one seed in the AFC, at least as far as this season goes. There's no doubt about it. I like a lot of things about this football team. I think Drake May is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Their offensive line has improved. I think they have some weapons that, with a good scheme from McDaniels, I think that they're workable, right? Like, you can work with these guys. And I think their defense is playing very well as well. But the thing is, right, and I'm going to talk about this when it comes to the Chicago Bears, whether or not they're contenders or pretenders, whatever it may be, if you're a Patriots fan, you have to feel great about your team. And the reason why you feel great about your team is because the number one question that you had coming into this season got answered in an extremely positive way. I believed in Drake May coming in this year. I went on a podcast and I said that Drake May, the way he throws the football, reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, to me, as a pure quarterback talent, is the best quarterback that I've ever seen. We all know who the GOAT is, and he wears number 12 for New England. That's Tom Brady. That's the GOAT, but I'm talking about pure quarterback talent. Aaron Rodgers is that. Drake May reminds me of Aaron Rodgers when it comes to throwing the football, when it comes to some of his mannerisms. There's similarities there. The body type, it's similar. And that's why I said that. I said that Drake May was going to be better than Jane Daniels. And guess what? Better than Jane Daniels. By the way, if you guys can't tell, I am not a Patriots fan. So like when I said this stuff, it's not like I came from, a biased fan perspective. I'm not a Patriots fan. I have no attachment to the team whatsoever. So when I say this, whether the Patriots are contenders or pretenders, it does not matter, because the biggest question that they had coming into this season, which was, how good is Drake May? Not, is Drake May good enough to be a franchise quarterback? Because if you watched his rookie season and you watched his tape, you saw that there were some real signs that he was going to be a franchise quarterback. It's how good of a franchise quarterback can he be? And we could see this guy, no doubt about it, has the potential to be the best quarterback in the game one day. The best, not one of. I'm talking about the best, because his prime and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, their primes, do not match each other. So when Drake May gets to the age of Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, right, he could be the best quarterback in the league. There's no doubt about it. He's the best young quarterback in the league. No question about it. 25 and under, nobody even comes close to Drake May. And Drake May, his development is so far along as a young quarterback, and he still has room to grow. That's in a positive way, right? They run a pro-style offense over there in New England. That's not an easy offense for a second-year quarterback to run. Drake May runs it to perfection. I just like a lot of the things that they have going on there. So again, whether or not they're contenders or pretenders, it doesn't matter because some of the biggest questions that they had coming into the season got answered in such a positive way. They have taken such a step forward as an organization, as a football team. And honestly, this is the thing, right? When you make a lot of really good decisions in one offseason, that changes the trajectory of your team in the short term, right? Like we saw that with the Commanders in 2024. They made a lot of right decisions in 2024, not in 2025, 2024. And look how it paid off for them. It's the same thing with the New England Patriots. Consistently making the right decision after the right decision after the right decision. I mean, this offseason, adding Stephon Diggs and Milton Williams through free agency, I mean, those are two players that are making an impact for their football team right now. Hiring Mike Vrabel and having Josh McDaniel call the plays, well, that's paying off big time because now you have a legitimate culture in New England. They believe in themselves. You could tell that they play for that coach. They believe in the talent that they have on that team, and they believe that they are the best team out there. You could tell by their mannerisms. You could tell by the energy around the team. The vibes are outstanding with this football team right now. And then you go in the draft, you draft Will Campbell, who looks like he could be a franchise left tackle, which is huge. That's huge. And then you add Travion Henderson, who's been a big-time player for them as well. And that's the thing, right? When you look at the premium positions, what are the premium positions? The quarterback, the left tackle, the wide receiver. Well, let me rephrase that. Quarterback, offensive line, specifically the tackles, the wide receivers, the cornerbacks, and the edge rushers, right? Those are your money five positions. Quarterback, check, 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 check. Left tackle. It looks like you got a dude there with Will Campbell. And then you have a franchise cornerback. Like Christian Gonzalez is one of the five best cornerbacks in the league. This guy is tremendous, right? Like Eagles fans are asking themselves right now. And I know because I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia. They're asking themselves, did we make the right selection with Jalen Carter over this guy? They're really asking themselves that. I'm starting to hear that question come up. And I'm saying this right now. Patriots got the better player. The Patriots got the better player. Christian Gonzalez is a damn good football player. But it's not just what the Patriots are. It's about what the NFL isn't. There's not a great team in the NFL this year. And while I have a ton of respect for what the Patriots are doing, I don't look at them as a great team. They're a really good team. And in the NFL this year, they can absolutely win a Super Bowl. And that's all that matters in the end, right? Nobody's going to look back on this year. Nobody looks back on the Eagles Super Bowl when they won in 2017 or 2017-18, that season. Nobody looks back on that and says the quarterbacks in the conference championship were obviously Brady, best quarterback in the league at that time, in my personal opinion, but Bortles, Nick Foles, and Case Keenum. Nobody says that. They're just like, yeah, they won a Super Bowl. So if the Patriots capitalize on this and win a Super Bowl this year, anybody saying, oh, well, it wasn't a really good NFL that year, man, they just sound silly. Super Bowls, all those count the same. A Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. Doesn't matter how great the league was that year. Does not matter, right? There's no great team in the NFL. And that's really where I came to the conclusion that the Patriots are contenders this year. They absolutely are contenders. Because who's like definitively better than them? I don't think there's a team in the league that's definitively better than them. Right? Like, is Denver better than them? I don't think so. I don't think that. Are the Bills better than them? No, absolutely not. I don't think that at all. Are the Colts? No. Jaguars? No. I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't know. Like, here's my thing, because people will look at the team, right? And not me. I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of haters out there that look at the team and they say, oh, well, it's the Patriots. They haven't been the same since Brady. Like, this is just fool's gold, this, that, and the third. And my response to that is this. That may be true in other years, but in this year, they're contenders. There's no doubt about it. They are Super Bowl contenders. No doubt in my mind about that. And I'm going to say this one more time. Whether they're contenders or pretenders, it doesn't matter, because you have Drake May on a rookie contract. There's a very real possibility that within that rookie contract, because he still has, they don't even have to extend him after this year. That's the craziest part about this. Drake May's playing as well as he's playing right now, and they don't have to extend him after this year because he's not eligible for an extension. They could still add pieces through free agency to build this team out. That's crazy to me. Like, I think they're going to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years here. It might be this year. That's how high I am on this team. And I just think that people need to rethink some things, because I think the Patriots do have some good weapons here. I think they do have some interesting players in the backfield. I think they do have a good defense. And I mean, I don't know. They just keep winning football games. And, people are going to say, well, it's an easy schedule. Okay. They beat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. They beat the Buffalo Bills. Right now, those two teams are in the playoffs. So they beat two playoff teams. So I don't know. I just keep coming to the conclusion that I think that this team is really legit, and I think that they have a really good chance to win a Super Bowl this year. Again, is it because they're a great team? No, they're not a great team. But there's no other great teams in the NFL. So because of that, they can absolutely win a Super Bowl this year. Hey, quick break. Thank you guys for tuning into the episode. Please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And let's get back into the episode. So I want to talk about the Chicago Bears and how I feel about this football team at the current moment. There's a question that's being asked right now about the Bears. Are they contenders? Are they pretenders? And if you're a Bears fan, I don't think you should pay that any mind. You want to know why? Because two big questions that you had going into this season: how good of a coach is Ben Johnson? Can he transition from offensive coordinator to head coach? And can Caleb Williams improve and develop? I think you got positive answers on two of those really important questions. Ben Johnson absolutely has proven that he can be a head coach, and he could be as good of a head coach, if not better, than he was an offensive coordinator. And I think Caleb Williams is developing. Is he where you want him to be right now? No. Is he what you expected him to be coming out of USC? Not yet. It might just take him a little bit more time. Playing under Ben Johnson, that's not an easy offense to grasp, right? And I think that he's doing a fine job in that offense. Is it perfect? No, it's not. But it's better than it was last year. And I think if you're a Bears fan, you need to feel good about that potentially, happening for you when it comes to, hey, you might actually have a franchise quarterback here. Whereas when you looked at Caleb last year, it's like, I got some questions. But what separates the Bears from other teams is this. They have two coaches on the sidelines that give them a schematic advantage. Ben Johnson gives them offensively a schematic advantage. Dennis Allen defensively gives them a schematic advantage. Guys, remember with Dennis Allen, he used to put Tom Brady in hell. Tom Brady did not look forward to playing that guy. So if Tom Brady, who to me is the greatest quarterback of all time, struggles against that guy, it's probably because he's a really damn good defensive coordinator. Not a head coach, and he proved that in New Orleans. Not the guy there, but he's an outstanding defensive coordinator. This guy's one of the best defensive coordinators in football. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you talk about three best defensive coordinators to me. And the two are mix and match, but then the third one I think is there. Fangio and Spagnuolo, to me, are the two best defensive coordinators in football. Wherever you want to put them, if you want to put Spagnuolo at one, cool with that. If you want to put Fangio at one, I'm cool with that. Regardless, those are the two best defensive coordinators in football. You have Brian Flores, who's outstanding. But I'm going to be honest with you, why isn't Dennis Allen either 3 or 4? If we're being honest here, this guy has changed life for that Chicago Bears defense. It's not that talented of a unit. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. It's not like this defense is extremely talented. They have some talented players on it, no doubt about it. But Nashawn Wright is playing good football. Nashawn Wright, I mean, look, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Nashawn Wright was not good for that team. I wanted him off that team for years. He goes to Chicago, and credit to them for this. They hired Al Harris where, look, I know there's some Cowboys fans that are saying, I wish we'd still have Al Harris. There was some tension there between that front office and Al Harris, right? I covered the Cowboys, covered them for 4 years. There was some tension there. That's the reason why they moved on. It was good. It's good for both sides, right? Al Harris is doing some great things with the Chicago Bears and that secondary. But Nashawn Wright playing really well for them. It's just, I don't look at this team as overly talented. It's not the most talented team in the NFC. I would contest. I think that the Rams are more talented. I think the Seahawks are more talented. I think the Cowboys are more talented. But who's sitting at the top of the NFC right now? It's the Chicago Bears. You want to know why? Because schematically, they have an advantage on both sides of the ball. If they lose games, you're rarely ever going to point to coaching as a reason why you lost games, which is actually great for you as an organization, because as an organization, when you fall short, you know where to point the finger at. You know it's, hey, we need to get better personnel. And that's just, I think, the way it is with the Chicago Bears. And again, like when you look at the NFC, guys, like Chicago Bears can win the NFC North. Like they're number one in the division right now. Like we do realize that Philly went to Green Bay and beat the Packers. Like their offense could not move the ball on that defense. And then Chicago goes into Philly. And I know football math is not perfect. It's not perfect. But we have a common opponent that right now I think the Eagles are the third seed in the NFC if the playoffs were to start today. We have a common opponent. One team with the Packers, Philly went into their building, and defensively they absolutely dominated the Packers. Chicago went into Philly and moved the ball on that defense. I mean, they ran the ball at will. They ran the ball, and that's the thing, right? They're starting to find an identity. Young players are starting to step up. They're starting to come into their own. And that to me is where I just look at it. And not only that, right? I have been a massive critic of Ryan Poles. I've been a massive critic of him. So understand that I'm not saying this as somebody who's always said great things about Ryan Poles. But Ryan Poles deserves a lot of credit because he wanted to improve this offensive line. The offensive line is improved. This offensive line is much better than it was last season. And that's where I think you have to give them a lot of credit because you have your offensive line. Granted, you're going to have to replace some guys because it's not the youngest offensive line in the league, but it's an offensive line that you're able to orchestrate an offense around them being consistent and them being able to hold up in protection and be physical at the point of attack. So, I mean, like, guys, it's not like the Eagles' defensive line is easy to move. Carter and Davis and Ojamo and the edges that they have, it's not like that is an easy front to move. And they move the ball at will. And even like their second level guys with Bond and Dean and Campbell, even though he's not a great run defender, and he didn't play in that game either. But like, that's not an easy front to move. That's a powerful front. That's a front that can move well as well. Like when you look at Jalen Carter, that guy's movement ability is outstanding, but he's powerful at the point of attack. And it didn't matter because the Bears were more powerful at the point of attack. So they're a team that they have the flash with Ben Johnson and the passing attack, but they can beat you in so many different ways. And like when you look at some of the scores that they've put up there, like, they're on a 5-game win streak right now. They beat the Bengals. They beat them 47-42. So they proved that they can beat you by putting up a bunch of points on the board. Next week, they play the Giants, who it seems like outside of the Patriots, everybody's been having difficulty, beating this team. You beat them 24-20. So you proved that you can win in a defensive matchup. Next week, you play the Minnesota Vikings in 9. You win 19-17. You proved that you could win a low-scoring affair. Then you beat the Eagles 24-15 in cold weather, mind you. That was not an easy game to play in. I don't think players on that team were necessarily on both teams. I don't think they were looking forward to playing in that weather. Didn't matter. Bears went in there and thoroughly beat the crap out of the Eagles for 60 minutes. It's hard to do that for 60 minutes. Go in there and beat the crap out of that team, and that's what they did. And like I think that you have to give a lot of credit to the front office, and I think you have to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff here because, you have to give credit to the front office because they understood their weaknesses. They had to get more physical at the point of attack. And guess what they did? They got more physical at the point of attack. You also have to give credit to the coaching staff because while, yes, the front office did bring them in, they're still doing so many good things here, right? Like Again, I'm going to keep bringing this up when I talk about the Bears going forward. Schematic advantage. That's what they have. And when you have that, it's difficult to beat a team like that. I mean, you're seeing it in San Francisco right now. San Francisco is not some overly talented football team, but they have two guys on the sidelines, Shanahan and Saleh, who give them a schematic advantage. So because of that, they can punch up. And I think that's a lot of what the Bears have been doing. And again, the whole contender, pretender talk, it doesn't matter because the Bears have taken such a step forward. They have 9 wins. They're going to have a winning record this year. I mean, I look at their schedule. I think they're going to get at minimum 2 more, if not 3 or 4 more. Right? Like they have the Packers in Green Bay. That'll be a tough matchup. I'm not sure they win that game. The Browns, they're always a tough matchup, but they have them at home. I think they'll win that game. I think they split with the Packers here. I think they go 1-1. So right there, that's 11 wins. I think they beat San Francisco. I think they're a better team than them. I think they win 13 games this year. Now, will that get them the number 1 overall seed? I don't know. It might not. But I mean, at the same time, whether they make some deep playoff run, they headed in the right direction and then some. I just, so what I hate about football talk sometimes is that like we look at things, it's like if you don't win a Super Bowl, fans should be disappointed. No, everybody has different goals. And the goal for Chicago this year was to be moving in the right direction, to string together consistent performances. And Chicago has absolutely done that. And that's why I don't care about the contender, pretender talk. I don't, because what I do know is that going forward, this team is going to be a problem as long as they have that guy as their head coach, which is going to be for a very long time. And as long as they have that guy as their defensive coordinator, which I think is going to be for a long time because, you know, the league is going more towards offensive guys as their head coaches. And not only that, he's already tried being a head coach, and the league may look at that differently, and they may say, you want to know what, we're just going to leave that alone. So the Bears at that point might have found a match made in heaven with Dennis Allen, a guy who's not going to get a head coaching job, but is an elite defensive coordinator. And now you got something going here for a good point of time, a good, portion of time where you have two guys that give you a schematic advantage. It's impressive. It really is. Hey, quick break. Thank you guys for tuning into the episode. Please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And let's get back into the episode. So I want to get into the Philadelphia Eagles and talk about their offensive struggles mainly because I've just seen a lot of things online and I'm getting, quite frankly, a little annoyed by it. Kevin Patullo is not a very good offensive coordinator. We know this. Every Philadelphia Eagles fan who lied to you all offseason, who said that Jalen Hurts was this elite, outstanding quarterback, is telling you that, no, I was actually still right about my take. It's just that Kevin Patullo is really bad. You're actually wrong about your take if you actually thought that Jalen Hurts was an elite quarterback, because elite quarterbacks with that talent, I get it. Kevin Patullo is not very good. Lamar's had bad offensive coordinators. Josh Allen's had bad offensive coordinators. Dak's had bad offensive coordinators. Stafford in his career has had bad offensive coordinators. Herbert has bad offensive coordinators, and they don't look like this. They can still move the ball. They can still have a respectable offense. At the very worst, a below average offense. Not a bad offense. You've never heard a bad offense with those quarterbacks. Why? Because they elevate the talent around them. They elevate the coordinator around them. But let's be 100% honest with ourselves here. Being an offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts is the worst job in the NFL. And the reason why I say that is because you can dial things up for Jalen Hurts, and when he's not making the right reads, and when he's not throwing the ball accurately, they're going to blame you. Not only are they going to blame you, they're going to throw rocks at your house because this guy is not doing his job. And let's be 100% honest with ourselves here. Kellen Moore, Eagles fans wanted Kellen Moore out of there because the passing attack was not good. Do not do the revisionist history thing. A lot of Eagles fans wanted him out of there because the passing attack wasn't good. Brian Johnson, another guy, they wanted him out of there. Why? Because Jalen Hurts wasn't doing his job. That's why. They have too much damn talent on this offense to be this bad. They've invested too much money in their offense to be this bad. And the biggest reason, outside of just Kevin Patullo, is Jalen Hurts. Both of these guys deserve blame. It's not one person's fault over the other. Both of these guys are equally as responsible. Kevin Patullo's got to do a better job dialing it up. Jalen Hurts has to do a better job executing. That's why their offense is so bad. Because when your offense is as bad as the Philadelphia Eagles offense is, it is a collective of things. It's not just one thing. It's the coordinator not doing his job. It's the quarterback not doing his job. Their skill positions, are we going to blame them? Because I'm not. They're doing their jobs. When the ball goes their way, they're actually making the quarterback look a lot better. The offensive line has been great, and they haven't been running the ball effectively. But hey, guess what? You pay Saquon Barkley to make your offensive line look better. The offensive line is not the worst in the league. It's not. You paid Saquon Barkley. I think his contract's like $20 million a year. They just gave him an extension in the offseason. What people say when Saquon Barkley got his extension? Howie did it again. We got to take the controller away from Howie. He's too good at this. Because they extended a 28-year-old running back that's coming off a season with like 490 carries. That's why we have to take the controller away from him. Don't get it twisted. I think Howie Roseman is outstanding. But at the same time, let's just be honest with what we're talking about here, right? The quarterback has not played up to the standard of what you would expect a top 10 quarterback to play up to. That's why I say he's not a top 10 quarterback. And even like, here's the thing with Jalen Hurts, and any Jalen Hurts fanboy can come at me when I say this, but let's just be 100% honest. Jalen Hurts has to have an amazing run game. He has to have an amazing offensive line. He has to have a good offensive coordinator. He has to have elite weapons on the outside. He needs all of this stuff. He needs a defense that's going to get stops to get him the ball back. He needs all of this stuff to look good. Not great, good. Because that's the best Jalen Hurts has looked over his career, was in 2022. He looked very good that year. But he looked very good because he had an outstanding offensive coordinator who, by the way, is making Daniel Jones look good. Eagles fans, your opinion on Daniel Jones is not very high. And I know this because all you guys did was make fun of Daniel Jones in his time with New York. Darren Waller got traded to New York. All I heard was, he needs a quarterback. All this stuff about Daniel Jones over the past few years, Daniel Jones goes to Shane Steichen's offense, and he looks really damn good as well. So is it a Jalen Hurts thing or is it a Shane Steichen thing? Because I'm going to sit here and tell you, he did not look that good with Kellen Moore as his offensive coordinator. That's why they were like the 29th passing attack in football last year. They were not an efficient passing attack. This is not a new thing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Their offense wasn't that good last year either. You want to know why their offense did do well in some games? Because their offensive line blocked it up and they had a running back who was making explosive plays. They weren't making explosive plays in the passing attack. That's not Jalen Hurts' game. People could say, look at his deep ball. Yeah, whenever I see him throw a deep ball, it's like the receivers are fielding punts at that point. It's not good. It's not that good of a deep ball. I don't look at his deep ball like I look at Drake Mays or Matthew Stafford's or one of these guys. It's not on that level. Jalen Hurts has an okay deep ball. But to say, it's so funny because Jalen Hurts will make a play or two a game where people will look at you and say, I thought he couldn't throw the ball. Oh, great. He made like 2 plays in a game that you clip up and you say, I thought he couldn't throw the ball. Meanwhile, there's quarterbacks that are making like 20 to 25 plays a game that are all on the same level of that play that you showed me from Jalen Hurts. I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but I'm just so sick and tired of the damn just slandering one person when this is one of the worst offenses in the league. You have to look at the leadership structure. Is Nick Sirianni great? No, he's not great. And I actually said that. But I got crapped on by Eagles fans. I said Nick Sirianni is the reason whenever they show that damn graphic of Jalen Hurts had this many offensive coordinators over the past 10 years. That is an indictment on Nick Sirianni. And when I said that over the summer, I got crapped on. How can you say that about a Super Bowl winning coach? Maybe it turns out that I was right. Nick Sirianni's actually not that good of a coach. And we see when they don't have one of the best rosters that we've seen over the past 25 years, It shows. You start to exceed things properly. You start to see that the head coach isn't as good as people thought he was. You start to see that the quarterback's actually not that good. You see things more clearly. A lot of this winning that they've done is masked things up, especially this season. It's masked things up. But let's just be 100% honest with ourselves here. Jalen Hurts is a big part of the problem. And if you don't want to admit that he's a part of the problem, then you're a part of the problem. He's not playing well. He's not playing like a top 5 quarterback. So stop calling him a top 5 quarterback. PFF listed him as the 5th best quarterback in the league. Thought that was crazy. You know, RG3 and all these people go on these passionate rants about he just wins games, man. He just wins games. So does Bo Nix. Bo Nix wins games as well. But nobody's calling this dude an elite quarterback because he's not an elite quarterback. And they're absolutely right for not saying that he's elite. But when Jalen Hurts goes out, he's just such a winner, man. Okay, and what does he contribute to winning? What is he doing that contributes to winning? And ask yourself this question. Are there not 20 quarterbacks in the league that could do the same exact thing that he does and win just as much? You don't have to have a great quarterback to win a lot of games or even a Super Bowl. You need to have a great organization. It starts from top to bottom. And yes, is a quarterback a big part? Yes. But the Eagles had the number 1 defense in the league last year. I remember Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. Let's not get it twisted here. Peyton Manning was awful that year. He was a bad quarterback that year. Like, I remember that. That's why they put in Brock Osweiler. And it's not like Peyton Manning played well in that Super Bowl either. They had an extremely limited quarterback, but they had a great defense, and that's the reason why they won. So let's not do this revisionist history thing. You can win a Super Bowl and have a below average quarterback as your quarterback. That's just the way I feel about this. But again, Kevin Patullo is going to continue to get the blame, and I find it so annoying. That's going to be it for the episode, though, guys. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And until next time, I will see you guys on the next episode.